Morning. Well, it's sure going to be nice having a roof over my head. Hello there, I'm Len, and this is Mercury Man Garage and Outdoors. And when I say roof over my head, I mean roof over my shed. The woodshed. Steel finally came in, and we're going to be able to get going on that today, so that'll be nice. It's a beautiful day here in Michigan. Still a little hazy from Canada. Appreciate that. But anyway, we're going to get going, and let me show you what I got. And there it is. John Deere green. Nope, not quite. This is forest green. And get out of there. I'm already fussy about bugs being on it. But these are 12-foot sections, 3 feet wide, and I believe I got 14 of them. So with my overhang, foot on each side, I should have just enough if I did the math correctly. So we will see. But this is where it's crucial that the shed be somewhat square, and I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know that I got it perfectly square, but I know the first sheet up there pretty much determines the layout of the rest of them. So you want your first one to be as square as possible, and we'll start there. I'm going to start on this end, square it up. I should have about an inch overhang on each end. And my screws, now don't laugh. I got gray screws. And you're wondering why, I bet. It's because I had leftover screws from when I did my equipment shed way over there. I had leftover screws, and I could have bought green screws, but I'm going to use these up, and there'll be a little contrast with the screws, but hey, that's style, right? All right, well, we got the first sheet up, and man, I'm glad it's not windy. Makes it a lot easier when there's no breeze, but it sure makes it hot as well, so I will deal with it. But we got the first sheet up, kind of lined up in place, roughly a foot or an inch and a half overhang on both sides, front and back. Shot the sun here, but I can already see, judging by this edge, that we're not 100% square. So we're gonna have to rebuild this whole shed. Nope, we're gonna be good. I'm just gonna line this up as best as I can and start screwing her down. All right, well, we got the first one up, and I pulled this over a little bit more on the side here, so I got a little bit more of a drip edge. I think that's the way you're supposed to do it. I am no carpenter, but I think that looks better. Got a little bit more of a drip edge for rain to drip off away from the fascia there, so I think that's good. And this edge here looks pretty good. I think we're a little bit off square, like I said, judging by this edge, but I may be able to tweak it as I go to, I guess, keep it looking good. It's a woodshed, come on. Doesn't really matter. I just want to get something on here to keep the wood dry. And I think those gray screws look kind of cool. You know, it's kind of like chrome lug nuts on a black wheel. Or in this case, I guess it'd be a green wheel. Fellers, well, we are cruising right along here, kind of getting into a rhythm, and we're over halfway done already. It's not even lunchtime. That's not too bad. I think it looks good. I want to show you something though, that when I first started out, go down here to the beginning here, we got her all screwed down, and first couple we had a little bit of that stair stepping going on. So that told me that it's not square. So I tweaked it just a smidge to see if it would correct itself and look it from there on. Let me get over here. The rest of the way down, she's lining up nice. This one's not secured yet, so this last one's gonna be off. It's not secured, but now explain to me how that happened. Started out kind of ugly, some stair stepping going on, and like I said, I massaged them a little bit, I guess you'd say, to correct it, and maybe that's what I did. But ever since they're looking good, front and back. Show you the front here quick a minute. Same thing, kind of, you can see the step there and here, but after that, pretty square. I'm happy. I guess I'll find out how square she really is when I get down there. Now, like I said earlier, getting these sheets up here has been no problem at all. The wind is picking up a little bit, but not enough to affect, blowing them away or anything. And these are 29 gauge sheets, so they're fairly light. And I think the reason I'm cruising along so good here is I'm not putting all the screws in quite yet. I'm just doing a few just to fasten them down. And kind of show you here how this works. You guys, this is for you non-carpenters like myself. But from what I've been told, I'm no expert on metal roofing, you can kind of see there's a lip here just on one side of the sheet, and the other side is just, there's nothing. So what you need to do is that has to go overlap it like that all the way down. And then what I did is my prevailing wind comes out of the west, so I put this seam away from the west, I guess you'd say. Don't think it's going to make that big of a difference, but that way, if we get a driving rain, it's not going to blow this up, or, heavy winds, straight line winds, stuff like that. It's not going to grab and rip that right off. At least I hope so. But that's that, guys. And one more thing, guys, here about the lug nuts, screws, is you don't want to tighten those down real tight. There's a couple of reasons why. The biggest reason is you'll damage that rubber seal on there. That's to help keep moisture out. And if you screw it down too tight, you're just going to rip up that seal. And another reason is it'll cause a dimple. It'll basically just sink down in, and you'll have a big dent in your roof that won't look good. And that's pretty much why you don't want to torque those babies down too tight. There we go. Done. Not too shabby. Now all I have to do is put the remainder of the screws in, and the roof will be done. It turned out really nice. Let me get up here and show you something here quick a minute. I want to just show you how well the colors of these sheets. Hey, what's this? Where'd that come from? More on that later. Let's go up here up top, show you something here. Could be a problem. Nice, lush green. Nice, faded green. that's all they had. And I guess I assumed it was the same color since it came from the same box store. But this was a special order. This is right off the shelf. But I guess you could say it's pre-faded, because a couple years, all these are probably going to look like that one. So I think it's going to be all good. And what I did here on the end here, I kind of overlapped these a little bit, so I ended up with this much of an overhang. And I don't know, I might just leave that. Maybe fold it down, I don't know, that might look kind of redneck, but cut it off maybe. But for now, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. And yeah, I'll probably end up cutting that off eventually. But I think we're good. As you can see, I ended up pretty even on this edge. So it wasn't as far out of square as I thought. So I'm happy with that. And like I said, as I went along, everything started lining up. After I got done with those stair steppers down there, everything came together nice. Kind of just straightened itself right out. Still can't figure that one out, but it is what it is. All right, guys, well, I think that's going to do it for today. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for today, guys. Glad to get that done. That's the last of the big projects I have on this shed. I guess you can say we're dried in now. No, it's a woodshed. They're not dry. But 3 sides are, more or less, and that's all I need. But hey, quick a minute here, let me show you. Remember that rafter that was cracked? I just ended up sandwiching it between a couple of 2x6s here, nailing them in real good on both sides. And I'll probably throw a strap or two around that, some metal strapping. And I think that'll be good. But that's my fix for that. But other than that, oh, another thing. Check this out. Just thought of this one. 2x4 storage. In between my walls. Whatever works. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, give me a like, leave a comment, and remember, find your thing. Have a good one.